Should you cut wet grass? Many folks say no. Well, in push and walk behind mower users manuals, statements like the following abound. Pause them if you want to read the whole thing. This is from Troy-Bilt, from Toro, from Snapper, from Aaron's, from Lawn Boy, from Husqvarna, from Honda, and for more than a decade. And if you watch several YouTube videos about cutting wet grass, they too will tell you, don't cut wet grass. So why not? Well, from the previous instructions we have just seen, there is a valid concern that wet grass is slippery and you could cut your foot off if you fall and slide under the mower. However, the boring sport of baseball has taught us how to do even spectacular athletic feats on wet grass. Just wear baseball spikes, perhaps like these Nikes on Amazon. But as only Honda notes in their comments, going back to the early 2000s, wet grass can also gunk up your mowing machine. And this little noted item is no small deal. This is what a wet grass gunked up mower looks like. It is a mess with blenderized grass goo, grass paste, grass puree, filling the deck, and it can stall your engine. Note the grass bunched up behind the upper blade tip. With my old mower, even with a big 200cc engine, in my worst case, I have had to flip a stalled mower over and scrape out this much gunk every 10 feet or 20 feet or so of mowing. It's the same with my new mower. That's like 25 flips and scrapes to get my lawn done. No, thank you. But those are not the only dictates you hear today. You also hear, get out of the chair. Some say that sitting in a chair all day, especially when you are retired and as old as I am, is more dangerous to your health than smoking. Mowing grass is good exercise for those of us who disdain unproductive exercise that accomplishes nothing. However, if you have to wait till the afternoon for the grass to dry when it is a 90-plus degree day out, and you have to wear a hat to prevent melanoma and a long-sleeve shirt for the same reason, sunglasses to prevent cataracts, earplugs to preserve your scant remaining audio, and a respirator if you want to prevent lung issues, be prepared to sweat like a pig. Hence, they also tell you to hydrate like mad, especially with electrolyte, or you may just have found a way to reduce Democrat-hated gun suicide deaths in America by substituting approved lawn mowing suicides. However, often in the early morning, before the sun is high, before carcinogenic rays bathe you, before the grass dries and kicks up a lot of dust, temperatures can be 20 degrees lower. A very comfortable 70 degrees in many cases. But dew and overnight rain usually make for wet grass like this. Yet even mowing wet grass in the rain can be quite pleasant. So hallelujah, I am here for you to tell you wet grass can be cut. And in many ways I hope to show you how, with better technology than you find in many, maybe all, of the 2- and 3-way mowing machines being sold today. But I'm not selling anything. This video is intended to explain how, and with earlier efforts to produce a statutory bar against patenting of anything that might be new here, so that our friends, the good people in the mower industry, can quickly bring to market fully engineered and optimized tools that we need to mow wet grass happily, healthily, and safely. Remember this? It was only a few slides back. Why does this happen when you are mulching, side discharging, or even bagging wet grass? Here is another. Notice the crap that fell out when the engine stopped. Let us consider what happens in a lawnmower. First, the blade is flying around 3,000 RPM, they say. I did not measure it. And it is creating a centrifuge. Now, centrifuges really do work. They separate blood for analysis, and they can separate barely perceptible variations of uranium isotopes and make the atom bomb possible. If you circulate a fluid, liquid or gas, like here, the denser constituents, that is to say the grass, will fly to the furthest points, meaning the grass will in a tornadic, cyclonic, hurricanic way move to the distant points. Lo! Look at how grass has collected at the left and right of the deck with a flat blade. Also note the eye of the hurricane. Hence, a fraction of what impinges the deck will deflect and recirculate upward, carrying debris up into and onto the bed, even to an extreme degree. So in this case, one expects some cyclonic flow to escape, to deflect out of the bottom of the bed, or out of the side discharge port, or into the bag. However, a portion will orbit the axis and accumulate up into the bed surfaces, where it will deposit wet grass onto the deck to the point of stalling. But notice the eye of the hurricane, which remained clean. If your blades are like almost all, but not every last one of the blades I have seen these days, then it has lift and a wing, an upward portion of the blade that will turn the mower into a crude vacuum pump / compressor, and along with the centrifugal forces will also help blow and even push even more grass goo upward. This is how a grass clipping and the surrounding air are pushed up, sometimes holding the whole deck full of clippings that drop out when you stop or stall the engine. Recall how a ring of grass dropped out here. And here are 2 successive rings from 2 passes. This is not surprising. Hey, if you want to paint a car, what do? You create an airstream and inject into it some paint, and then point the air paint stream at the surface you want to coat. Simple much. Same thing in the mower. It should not be a surprise at all that wet grass acts the same and does this. But wouldn't it be better to not throw things out the side or fill the bag with goo or, worst of all, jam the deck full of crap that stalls the mower and makes a real mess in one's yard with adobe goo clump droppings like these? That is possible, and here is how. Remember this diagram? Cut the grass and push it and the air up. How about not painting the car by pointing the spray gun flow in the opposite direction? If you don't want to paint the car, point the gun away from the car. But you just can't bend the wing down to point the clippings down. That might do some good, but the grass clipping is formed above the wing. So here is a 2-blade prototype I'm going to demonstrate. Maybe this is new, maybe it is not. But I call this downdraft mowing, intended to do just that, to point the gas stream down and counteract the centrifugal action. It is a two-blade system similar to Honda's and adapted to my old Honda. Note that when the grass is cut, the cyclonic upward stream is now deflected down in an airstream that is also deflected down by a negative airfoil towards the ground. The bottom blade has zero lift. It is a Honda top blade. The prototype custom top airfoil has the negative lift. But will this blow the grass down and prevent the blade from ever even cutting it? A test is in order. Here is a grass eye view of the blade system coming at you. Note the wet yard, exhibiting about 400 square feet of wet, mown lawn. This was mowed with a Troy-built side discharge system. Note the bed. Note the crop that fell out of the bed. Note the last portion of about 800 square feet of a total 1,400 square foot later mowing of wet grass that was mowed using the downdraft prototype blade system you just saw. That ain't adobe grass, but is a huge layer 6 to 8 inches of grass clippings that were cut. Looking good enough for me. I ain't trying to show up the neighbors. Note the bed. Note the relative absence of much crap. Note the clean perimeter. No grass between the blade or above it. Note maybe only 10% as much crap as in the previous example. And note, there were no stalls, no droppings, and this is without any obvious optimization efforts yet to come next grass season. This is the Mod 1 prototype. Wilbur and Orville would have drooled to get such a good first result. To repeat, several fold more mowing, several fold less crap, no stalls, no goo droppings. That which I sought to demonstrate has been demonstrated. Wet grass can be cut. I've done a bit more equally favorable mowing with this prototype, not a lot, but this video has taken enough of your time. How about it, Honda, Toro, Troy-built, Snapper, Husqvarna, and the blade makers, Oregon, Stens? When can we get fully engineered and optimized downdraft blade kits for today's otherwise crappy mowing machines? Remember Rule 1 and 2? Rule 1, the customer is right even when he wants to mow wet grass. And Rule 2, when we, the customers, are totally wrong because you don't want to make that possible, then read Rule 1 again. That is how quality is done these days. Your customer is waiting. Hence, the case for cutting wet grass is made. Both the methodology and need for it, especially early in the morning, it makes perfect sense for a lot of people.